Friday, no King's Eve, 17th of October. Cheers. Good morning, world. And peace. Real peace, as opposed to peace on a piece of paper. Someone wanting to take credit for things they haven't done. Well, folks, let me just get it out of the way. I was never a Kiss fan. So I understand how much Kiss means to people, and that the Ace Frehley's passing is major. It's really sad. Um, had the fall, or that's how they reported that he fell at his studio, and then his brain started to bleed, and then we lost him yesterday. Once again, you can tell through social media, all the posts, all the pictures, all the memories. Kiss has means a lot to a lot of people in a lot of ways, including a lot of musicians. They've inspired a lot of musicians. I happen to not be one of them. And the adulation that Kiss receives also illustrates to me very pointedly how I'm the odd man out. I'm not part of that crew. I played Kiss in my very first band, Restricted. My one of my good friends, still in my life, Alan Hicks. I still remember when he turned me on to Kiss and how excited he was, and insisted that we play Strutter. I was so totally not impressed and frankly disappointed when I saw the cover and said, "You fell for that?" But see, I understand for a lot of people, their interest in the Kiss was when they were children, and the image and all of that. So I respect what that band means to people. Never saw Kiss, met Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley in a bookstore. This was while they were on tour, and they were in Omaha, and this was before they were unmasked, but it was so obviously Paul Stanley. So I went right up to him and said, "You're Paul Stanley." He was pissed as hell. Didn't call me the N-word, got close to it. Gene said something kind of smart ass, but it was funny. It was because I'm pretty sure it was in reference to the fact that they're supposed to be anonymous, you know what I mean, without their makeup. I could see who they were, obviously. Paul Stanley especially. But I've told the story before, when that happened, Paul Stanley goes and gets his security, kicks everyone out of the store, and closes it. But anyway, rest in peace, Ace Frehley. Let me fix this. Just getting up. There we go. So, no new records to show. I think I'm going to keep this one short and to the point, because yesterday I was scheduled to go into James Quato's studio, and I pay attention to inner messages. And it wasn't that I didn't feel like playing. It was something else, and I didn't know what it was, but I said, not today. So I messaged James and told him I wasn't going to be coming in today. It's a good thing, because yesterday, probably because of the weather, it was a beautiful day. My contractor neighbor, Ray, comes over at 11 when I was supposed to be at the studio. Just a few minutes after 11 yesterday morning, he comes popping over and says he's ready to start work on my house. If I hadn't have been there, I'd have missed that. So I was putting off, well, putting it off for a while because I was trying to get funding from the city for neighborhood improvement until Trump destroyed all those programs, took all that money away from us. So it's been a challenge, to make living on Social Security. My retirement ran out years ago, and keep my head above water. So I've been pinching pennies and just, living very minimally, saving money, knowing that I need to address the house. So it got started yesterday on the front. Thankfully, the other thing was, there's still more to discover, but I knew that once he starts working on the house, we're going to discover exactly what kind of shape my house is in. I have wood rot, but thankfully we're discovering it's not termites. I didn't think it was, but bad wood rot, really rather ugly in front. So he started on the front of the house. I don't need to replace the windows. Thankfully they're intact, but the front of the house. So he's redoing the molding around the windows. At first we thought that's what he was just going to do, but now he's replaced the siding on the front of the house in part. We're going to go do the whole house eventually. But in removing the front panels on the house, which were pretty rotten, we discovered that that old style insulation that they used on the house, well, it's like it wasn't even there. It's like it evaporated basically. So I'm getting, I got brand new insulation on the front of the house. Um, I'm getting new panels on the front, and and new windows, casings, I guess. And we're going to take it. We're going to, I appreciate that my neighbor is going to work with me because this is thousands of dollars of work that he started, which I don't, you know, drain my bank account, but he's going to work with me. That's my news. That's what I have to share, actually. And I watched the windows in the front. Honestly, from the outside, I'd never washed the windows since I've lived here for over 30 years. And I just had to keep standing and looking at the windows, after I'd cleaned them. It's like, I know I'm kind of rambling, but that's what's going on. And he's supposed to finish that part today because he got to a certain, once you get started, and then he found some wood rot, not termites, but I could see one of the spots where this is likely where the mice could get in. I'm sure there's more than one. But this new type of insulation that they do, the way they wrap the houses and stuff, I think that'll help. And he replaced, I'm just pleased. And so I won't just keep going on about it. Excuse me, slurping my coffee. So that's what's on my plate today. I'll see if there's anything to respond to in the comments. I appreciate hearing from the person who calls himself Shep Math. He says he's bought all of my CDs and a few more. He agrees that they're all different, but can recognize my style. Soundtrack for his car. Well, I'd like to again ask folks to consider buying more of my music. The music, I'm down to 5 of these, 5 and they're done. Which it's obvious where the money is going to go is into the house. This is really good here. I'd like to encourage folks to buy the music. You know where the music, you know where the money's going to go. I hope this makes sense. What I'm going to try to talk about right now is, so in light of the passing of D'Angelo, it had me kind of examining myself, because my music, there's not a sexual component to the way I write. Like, for example, my younger sister Adrian, the artist, with Floyd Norman, she recently had an exhibit out in California, and she used my music. And she did a slideshow, and it really worked. But since then, it was either the passing of Drew Struzan or something else where she made a slideshow where it was, an emotional content, and she didn't use my music. And in the context, it really showed where I don't focus how I write at all towards women specifically, or a sexual feeling. I noticed that right away, and the difference in the way my music came off. It's like it was really fitting for this event or this passing of someone, but it wasn't all intimate, and I just really noticed that, and it's like it is an outgrowth of my personality and how I've chosen to live, which is single, and almost became a priest, folks. And so that my music is not about the bedroom or about trying to be the background for sex or people trying to hook up. It's a personal soundtrack. I'm glad that other people have discovered my music where it fits their needs, or they like it, or it resonates with them. But it also illustrated to me very clearly why my music isn't more popular, because I don't attempt. I just make this music as it comes to me. I follow ideas, rhythms. I try to make music that pleases me and that I think is good. But it's another reason why I say I'm kind of the odd man out. I never made music for the purpose of trying to meet girls or boys. Well, at least not for sex anyway. I've always wanted to get aligned with people with similar, mentalities. But sex was never part of it. Never. And so it still isn't. And that may indeed detract from my music connecting with more people. I'm just saying I realized that, and was having some recent thoughts about it and further realizations. So I'm still very happy about development, because that's what I wanted. I wanted to have an original voice. I didn't start to play the guitar so I could sit around and play guitar for people. I've never been that one to do that. So anyway, like I said a few videos before, part of what I enjoy about doing these videos is that I can tell my story. I can document it. So if you have connected with my music, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Here is waiting for you. There I am playing a DHX show maybe 2 years ago. Another one of my collages. Yeah. So it's new releases on Friday. We'll take a look when Homer's does their new release update. The one from the in group yesterday, there was nothing of interest to me. Nothing. I see that there's more deluxe Frank Zappa reissues coming out, but I don't have to have all those, although they are interesting to me. But I don't have to have them. Unlike the, it's still sitting right here, so I'll show this. Unlike the Lamb Lies Down. So I didn't play much music yesterday. I actually watched the interviews that came with the reissues of Genesis albums a few years ago. I don't know how many years ago it was, but they had the DVD where you could extras where they talked to the band and interview them and stuff. So I watched that stuff yesterday. And these records I showed yesterday, I did play some of these. The Rebecca, it's electronic. It's from Poland. This is good. This is good. She's got a good voice too. Doesn't sound like Bjork. It's good though. This thing, Rebro, is a instrumental mostly. I like it. Kind of it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Pardon me. Relaxing music, though, Rebro. And I noticed I noticed other people's posts, particularly on Facebook. So Dereck was posting this. Maffet Davies, The Rise and Fall of Honesty. This is another one that goes back to my childhood, where I originally acquired a copy as a cutout when I was still a kid. Never liked it because it's not psychedelic. It's got a psychedelic cover, but it's not psychedelic. And they start off doing a really straightforward version of Dylan's Just Like a Woman. It's okay. But I listened to all of one side, and it's like, I'm going to keep this time. I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to keep it. It's a nostalgia trip. Maffet Davies. If they went on to do something else, I don't know. I didn't bother to look it up. That's basically what I have to share. I'm so grateful. I've been saying that a lot, but I'm staying in that frame of mind and soul to be grateful and thankful for everything. I visited with my neighbor Ray for a bit while he was working on my house yesterday. He's a good man. He's a good person. And then my cousin Raymond got home from whatever he was doing, riding his motorcycle. He sat out and watched for a while. Ray had started work on Raymond, my cousin's house, a while back, so I just kind of waited because I'm different, And sure enough, my cousin Raymond, I knew, because Raymond is like this. As Ray is getting done with what he's doing on me, he calls him and wants him to do something on his house. And it's like, just the way that Ray handled it, it's like, I leave you alone. I chuckled. I say, see, people are funny. We all have our ways, don't we? Well, that's what I got today. Talk to me, people. Let me know how you're doing. All right?